Hey everybody, it's Molly, and welcome to another episode of RTT. Now, Disney has some pretty incredible attractions based on beloved stories, but every now and again they base a ride on a movie that nobody asked for. Today we're talking about Disney attractions based on films that came out of left field, as we remember that time Disney bet big on movies you forgot about.
Yes, Avatar, let's go.
Avatar is a movie that was directed and conceived by James Cameron.
Yes. Fern Gully in space.
And he really wanted to make, Pocahontas redone with blue people.
Well, it's really Fern Gully meets Pocahontas meets Smurfs.
Wait a minute, I've seen this before. It's called Fern Gully, or Pocahontas.
In space. Everybody's gonna be like, what's Fern Gully? It was in 3D, that was a big deal.
Somebody told me that the 3D was so good that it felt like you were like sitting on Pandora, like you could look to the left of you and see a plant, which that person was dramatic.
I'm colorblind, so 3D glasses really kind of throw off my movie-going experience because if I have them on, it looks horrible. And if I have them off, it looks horrible.
There's a lot of mixed feelings on Avatar. I enjoyed it. I did.
I was disappointed because I wasn't sitting with plants.
I saw Avatar in theaters because it was really a big movie and James Cameron was hot. Ha 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 ha. That's an understatement. James Cameron is the king of movie.
Most people would probably best know for Titanic and the Terminator movies.
James Cameron doesn't move through time, time moves through him.
What did he eat before he went to bed to produce this dream, these characters? Like, y'all, the long ponytails that had like nerve endings in them, and
It's just, of all the plot devices James Cameron could have used, ponytails?
There has to be something that I'm missing here. That would be my first question I'd ask James Cameron. Ponytails? Just one word. Ponytails?
I can name all the creatures in Avatar besides the Banshee.
I know that the blue people are actually more formally referred to as the Na'vi.
Banshee, number one.
There are those weird frogs that have extra legs.
the dragon dogs.
There's those weird horses that the Na'vi ride on.
Banshees, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Awa, it's the tree.
I'm gonna call the big tree Grandmother Willow.
I keep wanting to say nigiri, but that's sushi.
Banshee number 7.
Six-legged tiger beast.
Agua? Not agua, that's water.
They say something about like an egret, or is that a real animal? Is an egret real?
And spinny lotus frogs.
Those are the official names, I'm pretty sure.
So the characters from Avatar are
Jake Sully,
military guy,
The girl from Crossroads,
Zoe Kravitz,
lab coat person,
Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Sigourney Weaver,
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver with a cigarette.
Y'all already know I like Sigourney Weaver. Ever since they put that animatronic of her in the now taken down great movie ride where her head is going like that.
Grandmother Willow does not like Sigourney Weaver.
it was very seemingly randomly announced, an awkward number of years after the original movie came out, that Disney was investing in a new area of Animal Kingdom themed to Avatar.
We were all thinking it, right? We were like, this is what you've got to go up against Harry Potter.
That's how we choose to respond to Harry Potter World.
I was a little confused.
I was not at all excited.
I was so excited when I heard that Walt Disney World was doing Avatar Land because
Is Joe Rohde involved?
Joe Rohde was spearheading the project.
Joe Rohde is a genius, but he's also a wackadoo, and you're allowed to be two things.
If you could bring together all those earrings on one ear, then you could bring together the technology to bring Pandora to Earth. And y'all, he did it.
Props to Joe Rohde.
I think Pandora is one of the most jaw-droppingly beautiful lands I've ever been to. Every single time I'm there, I am awestruck by the floating mountains. Honestly, my favorite thing about Pandora, though, is the food. Satula Canteen cheeseburger pods, green beer, exclusive to Pandora, the giant pretzel with beer cheese, the Night Blossom or the Rum Blossom slushie, and the Pineapple Lumpia. Pandora knows what's up when it comes to snacks.
Na'vi River Journey is wonderful for the animatronics that are displayed there, specifically the shaman.
I like sitting in a boat on a dark ride. It feels very like quintessential Disney park. And I really like when they do new ones because that makes me feel like it's not a dead art form and that I will get to sit in boats forever.
Flights of Passage is just so... Is that a word? It's because it takes your breath. It takes your breath.
I want to hate simulator rides. I really do. Like, there's something in my bones that's like, God, I want to hate it because it's a sim ride. But oh, it's cool, isn't it?
Or again, a movie franchise I don't care about. It's a really cool ride.
Actually, I get hype anytime you have to ride a ride like a motorcycle. Tron, I'm gonna go crazy.
They found a way to make this really dumb movie work into an amazing theme park land.
Aewa, aewa, aewa.
Fantasia, the movie as it was originally intended, was supposed to revolutionize the movie-going experience. Kind of loose story, frankly, really spinning tales based upon a fantastic score.
Fantasia the movie was rented for me when I was a child.
I remember getting it as a VHS when I was a young child.
In my youth, when my parents didn't want to deal with me and they plopped me down in front of the TV and they're like, Fantasia.
I might be one of the few people on the planet who actually enjoys watching Fantasia.
It felt like punishment.
I have seen it more recently as an adult. It's definitely an acquired taste, but I mean, it's beautiful. But I definitely think you need to be an adult or someone who loves classical music to appreciate it.
I also enjoy classical music, which makes me approximately 102 in my soul.
3 segments of Fantasia that are not Sorcerer's Apprentice are My Beautiful Flowers Dancing in the Spring with the trees.
Flower scene.
I want to say the whale one, but I think that was Fantasia 2.0.
Centaur scene.
Look at the paint drip.
Was there a jazz one? Wasn't there like a jazz one?
What could be better than Walt and George Gershwin? I don't think there is much that there is.
Dancing hippo scene.
That's probably my favorite, is the ballet dancing elephants. And they're hippos, by the way. They're not elephants. So, tricked ya.
I think there's one with an orchestra.
Night on Bald Mountain is the Chernobog scene.
Oh yes, wait, that demon devil guy and all those horses that used to freak me the heck out. Here's another episode of RJ being terrified by Disney.
I know Chernobog. He's a jerk. Big, scary wings, red eyes, the whole nine. I really want to show you Chernobog's legs.
It makes sense that he has legs. I don't want to see them. Now that I'm thinking about this, which I never have before in my whole life, I'm imagining he wears like Hulk-style gym shorts that are all ripped up and tattered and stuff.
Enough about Chernobog's legs.
Fantasia is where we got the iconic sorcerer Mickey.
A wizard's name in Fantasia is...
Oh, this is gonna come like... Does it start with a Y?
It's something with an A.
Ah yes, Yin Sid.
which is Disney spelled backwards. Fantasmic is the greatest show at Walt Disney World.
Dream a fantastic dream.
Fantasmic as a medium to show Fantasia and the different elements of Fantasia, I think, is a great representation.
Fantasmic is kind of a portrayal of Fantasia. There's definitely Fantasia elements.
Let's make this clear. Disneyland Fantasmic. I'm talking about OG Classic is incredible.
That's what Fantasmic is. Any questions? I didn't think so.
Oh, it was ahead of its time. Fantasia was ahead of its time considerably.
What a lot of people don't realize is that Fantasia was not seen the way that it was intended by guests, called at the time Walt's Folly or Walt's Flop, because it tanked. Walt wanted you to feel like you were in a concert hall with the music surrounding you. So he and his team invented what they called Fantasound, which is literally surround sound. The Disney company invented it. Most theaters were like, no, that's expensive. Then Walt wanted them to install sprinklers in the ceiling so that during like the Sorcerer's Apprentice scenes where the water splashes Mickey, he wanted the guests to get splashed too. The movie theaters were like, no. And then he also wanted the ushers of the movie theaters to walk up and down the aisles and tossing flower petals or carrying incense so that you would smell whatever you're seeing on the screen. You're crazy, man. Absolutely not. It was maybe a little too gutsy for the time, especially with all the things Walt wanted to do.
Although, honestly, you really never hear about people who are like, I'm gonna turn this whole thing on. Like, it's a night in. Let me turn on some Fantasia.
Fantasia, music, art, Disney. You may fall asleep. You may stay awake. You won't find out until you press play.
Yeah. The Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian is a part of the Chronicles of Narnia series.
I know I've seen the first Narnia movie because whenever it came out, I had a really big crush on the blonde kid.
The first Chronicle of Narnia was so epic. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was just epic. It took us on this fantastic journey of love and acceptance and, you know, not trying to freeze everybody. And
I want to be Tilda Swinton when I grow up. So I love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because it's Tilda Swinton in some like bomb dresses.
There's potential I saw Prince Caspian because like he's a good looking fella.
I feel like Prince Caspian, the movie is like the discount Shrek 2. The mouse wears boots and Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots also wears boots. And that's my only thing that I guess there's a similarity. I love Shrek and I'm proud.
the movie starts with our 4 kings and queens of Narnia as they are leaving Hogwarts because they're all wearing Hufflepuff colors.
I think something bad happens and they need someone to fix it.
There was a lion, I believe his name was Aslan. He has a big say in whatever goes on in Narnia. I don't know if he's the president, I don't know if he was elected.
And Prince Caspian is the unlikely hero to save the day.
I think there's a boat, or is that just the third one, Voyage of the Dawn Treader?
He probably has like a funny sidekick with him, a Danny DeVito-esque buddy to go around with him.
Prince Caspian is a prince who doesn't have his throne, and he's got to get it with the help of knockoff Puss in Boots.
Everyone's like, oh, Prince Caspian, you had it in you all along. And he's like, yep, I told you guys I could save the day.
That would be a good plot.
I completely missed the Caspian attraction in Walt Disney World in Hollywood Studios.
That was the thing?
For a while, Disney at Hollywood Studios was doing these like walkthrough type attractions.
Hollywood Studios, they love making you look at stuff. They're like, we don't have any rides, so go in this room for 30 minutes.
And it was like a combination of, hey, here's some props from this movie we're trying to promote, and also some like extravagant set pieces.
And then you met a very handsome person who was playing Prince Caspian, and that I know that he was a fan favorite among women in a certain age group.
All the moms went crazy for because he was a dapper young lad.
They did not do justice to the good-looking actor.
I wouldn't date him. Like, he kind of has like the personality of a wet sandwich, you know what I mean?
I mean, what's that meet and greet gonna look like? What are we gonna say? Hey, how's it going?
Everything happens for a reason, Prince Caspian.
Because I don't remember that.
We're fine.
Shut up.
Are we okay?
Don't.
I'm sorry though.
Seriously.
Thank you.
If you're gonna have a Chronicles of Narnia meet and greet, it needs to be Tilda Swinton. The White Witch is fine, but I would also be okay if it was just actually Tilda Swinton.
I want to go full Swinton.
When Disney goes really overboard with promoting a movie in the theme parks, it typically tells me that it has not done well. I'm honestly surprised like John Carter wasn't everywhere when it was in theaters, because that seems like a movie they should have been like, no, really guys, come and see John Carter.
I do think that these movies probably were very successful as far as big blockbuster movies go. Why can't Disney get Lord of the Rings?
Chronicles of Narnia, to sum it up, Prince Caspian, we didn't really care. We just don't care.
I am Prince Caspian.
Have a visitor.
Things like that eat things like us as snacks.
I've seen the Dinosaur movie, or I should rephrase that. I saw half of it, and then the movie saw the rest of me because I fell asleep.
I recall having fond feelings for Dinosaur the movie.
We've lost Quincy. It's a sad day.
Yeah, I know. Don't come for me.
Dinosaur technologically was really cool at the time. It did some groundbreaking work with CGI, and it was really interesting that way. There were some really cool landscapes, but mostly it's
the most boring I've ever seen in my life.
The Dinosaur film is a touching tale of the same rehashed story we've all seen a million times, which is asteroid hits Earth, chaos ensues. We also experience dehydration.
It's all about these dinosaurs that want to find some water, and then they do.
Who said, let's make this movie about, trying to escape the inevitable?
The two main dinosaurs in Dinosaur the film, as well as Dinosaur the attraction, are...
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Something Don. It was a Don dinosaur.
Kevin or something. He was the first Kevin on Earth.
The iguanodon, particularly one named Aladar. His parents die at the beginning because meteors, spoiler, and he is adopted by some lemurs.
Which is very problematic and weird, because how would monkeys even teach him how to potty train?
They're always worried about the Carnotauruses.
Does the Carnotaurus talk?
Oh gosh, the more I talk about this movie, the more it depresses my soul.
100% Aladar and the lemurs talk. How dehumanizing for that poor dino. I mean, the dinosaur rising.
Boo! So the dinosaur-themed attraction in Animal Kingdom was originally called...
I actually don't know what the name was previously.
It was called Age of Extinction? Dawn of Extinction? Why can't I say that word? Extinction. Age of Extinction. Is that it? Felicia Rashad's gonna be so mad at me.
Or they called it Dinosaur. The ride was called Countdown to Extinction.
That was called Countdown to Extinction? What a much more appropriate name.
But the film Dinosaur came out in theaters shortly after, and they were like, hey, we could make money off of these two things if we just put them together. So then they changed the name of the attraction to be called Dinosaur.
They re-themed it to the movie, but it didn't make a massive difference.
But I don't actually know if I realized they changed anything other than the name when it happened.
What a weird thing to go in on, right? What a very weird thing to hedge your bets. Hey, remember that 2000 movie about animated dinosaurs in a drought? Yeah, that one? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Want to just re-theme an attraction for that? Well, which one were you thinking about? Oh, Countdown to Extinction. Oh, so we have to change nothing. No, we were thinking 3 lines. Okay. Put it through.
So, I don't really think they did much, honestly, except make it less scary. And I love that ride because it's scary, so I think I would have liked it scarier. However, I know that a lot of people think it's really intense as is, so maybe it's a good thing.
I'll ride Triceratops Spin, and I'm too old and too large to ride that attraction. And I will ride that before I ride Dinosaur. I love being put in a shoebox and shaken. This feels great.
One thing I do want to bring to your attention about Dinosaur the attraction is that when you are thinking you're not gonna make it, you know who saves the day? The iguanodon. He holds up the log for you so that your time rover can go under it and escape both the Carnotaurus and the meteors. So you should say thank you next time you ride it. I always do.
Dinosaur the movie is very forgettable, to the point that I don't totally remember if I've seen it or not.
Dinosaur, the adventure to boringness.
I feel the same about both. Slightly queasy, desperately thirsty.
This is the tale of an up-and-coming movie star named Roger Rabbit and a down-and-out private detective.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit was an incredibly complicated, amazing movie. Totally a world where cartoons and human beings interact.
How did they get all of these cartoon characters in the real world?
They did everything without the help of CGI. They literally used all practical effects, and then they would animate around it and create this like magical world where humans and cartoons interact.
I love that movie. My whole family loves that movie because it's good.
I honestly, after all these years and having seen that film many times, could not tell you one plot point from that film. It is just that bad.
How can you not like this movie?
That was my go-to movie. When I went to my uncle's house, we would sit down, pop some popcorn, and we would look at Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Honestly, I think he put it on because he had a thing for
Jessica Rabbit.
You might have known her from the sign when you would enter Pleasure Island.
I can only assume came out of the imagination of a 13-year-old boy.
True, Jessica Rabbit. Like, I'd like to see the animator who came up with that because I have some real thoughts as a woman on what that looked like.
I love Jessica Rabbit. I think she's awesome. It's weird that she's a sexy cartoon. Like, that's strange, right? But everyone acknowledges that. We all know it's weird. We all know this. It's weird that she's a sexy cartoon. I feel like owns it.
Maybe wouldn't have been drawn today.
Yeah, I remember that costume.
The Jessica Rabbit,
Oh no.
Oh my, look at her. What is wrong with her?
Wow, Jessica.
I'm actually having a little bit of a crisis.
I will get to her face.
The only comparison that I have to this costume and how it terrifies me to my core is the Bo Peep costume from about 5 years ago.
Ugh, I cannot see it. I cannot see it. I cannot see it. I cannot see it. Okay, it's fine. I'm sorry. No. It's not about you. It's not about you, Jessica.
You know, actually, she looks like a real housewife, doesn't she? Like she's from the Housewife franchise.
I actually need to take a break. I'm sorry. Can we take a break for a second? I got it.
I did go on Roger Rabbit ride in Disneyland.
I love Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin.
And it's one of those rides that, like, I vaguely remember going on it, but, like, it almost is in my memory as a fever dream.
It is like a trip, okay?
I remember having a lot of fun on the Roger Rabbit cartoon spin. I remember spinning a lot more than I thought I would on it based on like when you get in. It kind of is more Teacups-esque than I thought it would be.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride meets the Wonderland Teacups.
I really like it a lot and appreciate it.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit was initially going to be involved in a lot more than just one attraction at Disneyland. They were thinking about doing a whole Roger Rabbit themed land that had like a roller coaster as well as a couple dark rides.
If they remade Roger Rabbit.
Oh my gosh, please do not make Roger Rabbit. Could you imagine a remake of Roger Rabbit?
Okay, well, I believe that The Rock should be in everything, so he is automatically who I would say, let's cast him.
Put The Rock in a Roger Rabbit movie, for the love of God. That's genius. What I have just said, you can't tell me you wouldn't watch a Roger Rabbit reboot with The Rock. Like,
Disney Imagineering.
People who don't like Roger Rabbit are like people who don't like witches, aka robots. Also, RJ prefers Happily Ever After over wishes. Suspicious, I'm just saying, maybe RJ's a robot.
All the movies we talked about today,
I have some very different opinions on each of the movies.
They all can be boring. in a way.
Great in their own right, and not so great in their own right. None of them are my favorite movie of all time, but I've seen most of them, and I'm not mad that I saw most of them.
Yes, but in a scarring way. Like, not in any way that leaves me feeling positive. I don't feel warm and fuzzy after I see the ponytail scene. I always leave feeling slightly confused and just at 15 degrees off normal. The pinky toe is sacred. Leave it be.
Hey everybody, it's Molly. Morgan and I are loving that you guys are enjoying RTT, so make sure to like and subscribe and click over here for a playlist of every RTT episode. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can know when a new episode comes out. And if you want more AllEars, check out this video of me doing every single attraction in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Thanks for watching!